On this edition of Extreme Yachts, three renowned companies unveil three ultra-modern ocean cruisers.
Extreme is the word for it.
Ocean Alexander collaborates with two world-class yacht builders to produce a 120-foot seagoing palace.
There's just not that many people in the world to get to experience this.
It's pretty nice.
Also, we'll visit Viking Yachts and Tartan Yachts, two companies looking to strike the perfect balance between luxury and performance.
They always look like they're going 40 knots even when they're sitting at the dock.
Vikings 82 is a tournament-grade sport fisher, but you wouldn't know it by looking at the interior.
A debutante with brass knuckles.
And the Tartan 4000 is capable of winning a regatta and hosting a party on the same day.
The balance of performance and cruising luxury is something that is unique to Tartan Yachts.
Watch these three yachts come to life right here on Extreme Yachts. Since the dawn of time, man has attempted to conquer the sea. They built boats to fish, explore, and eventually cross oceans, driven by necessity and an adventurous spirit. But their boats were nothing more than a means of travel. Boy, have times changed. Say hello to the Extreme Yacht. These five-star aquatic mansions are opulent, robust, and currently redefining the world of luxury on the seven seas. Mega yacht manufacturer Ocean Alexander has teamed up with the esteemed builders at Christensen's shipyards to create their newest maritime mansion, a 120-foot colossus designed by renowned naval architect Evan K. Marshall.
There is a time and a point when people want a fresh look. Evan has come up with that. A lot of people are watching it closely, including other builders that have commented to us.
You got to attribute the designers like Evan Marshall that come up with these ideas, and obviously it's up to us to stay in tune to what we need to do to keep them looking fresh.
The look is crisp and distinguished, exemplified in part by its modern rectangular portholes.
The function of it is obviously when you're inside, all the guest cabins have very nice large windows to look out of. Outside, looking at the boat, it's attractive.
2 years in the making, the manufacturing process for the hull of this yacht is something new.
What they've done on this boat for the first time is they built the entire superstructure in one piece. And they were able to do that with this infusion process.
The rooms on this boat will be encased in foam rubber and float above this massive superstructure. This yacht features a true tri-deck arrangement, allowing for an above-the-deck master suite and a wheelhouse featuring a 180-degree view of the surrounding waters. Below deck, the space-saving Christensen-designed engine room and fuel tanks allows this OA yacht to include features usually reserved for larger vessels.
Because Christensen builds their boats with integral fuel tanks, not only does it lower the center of gravity, gets all that weight down below, but it takes that tankage out of the accommodations.
Though the tanks are smaller than average, their 7,000-gallon capacity makes even a trip to the gas station extreme.
30,000 bucks? What do you get?
7 times 5.
$35,000 to fill up.
And the added square footage is put to good use.
We tried to put as much space and accommodations in the smallest boat we could. In other words, we tried to do everything they have in the marketplace in a 130, but in a 120. People want smaller boats right now, but they don't want to give much up. It's a lot of boat in a 120-foot box.
Even after moving the fuel tanks, fitting everything into the allotted space has been a challenge for Christensen's engineering team. Originally, the boat was 6 feet shorter, but had to be expanded early on in the design process.
So I can kind of hide this hull structure here, and we can see some of the finer details. We have two 2,000-gallon water makers on this boat, so 4,000 gallons per day.
All flowing through countless miles of piping.
That's basically every deck all the way up to the flybridge. We've got about 14 months of engineering in there.
Features included on this mega yacht are sleeping quarters for 18, massive amounts of storage space for chartering, multiple commercial-grade freezers in the kitchen and pantries, and walnut and maple woodwork everywhere you look.
I believe that we build the best quality per square foot in the world.
From the extreme luxury of Ocean Alexander to the extreme performance of Viking Yachts, let's take a look at the industry leaders in sport fishing vessels.
We gear ourselves to sport fishing boats. Sport fish boats, as we refer to them today, have really evolved from what you would consider to be a rudimentary weekend boat where a couple of guys got together and were happy to go out and come back, to floating condominiums of today. It's not uncommon for a boat to have all of the amenities that you would have in a house. And a lot of times the amenities that are in some of these boats are nicer than what people have in their houses. So it has taken the idea of sport fishing to more of a luxury level.
A Viking is a dual-purpose boat. Above the water, it's a luxury cruiser. Below, it's a robust fish hunter built for speed and performance.
Extreme is the word for it. It's everything that you would find in a motor yacht, but it has the performance of a thoroughbred. You know, fish have tails and fins. They swim. Where they were yesterday, they may be 50 miles in the other direction today. You need to go out there and get them. If you're fishing a tournament, the first boat out there usually gets the first shot at some of those fish. So you want to be the first boat out there. It's very simple, but complicated.
Currently under construction is a Viking 82, featuring 4 staterooms, a plush master suite, and exterior decks fully outfitted for tournament fishing. And building one of these sport fish yachts takes a village.
We have about 835 to 850 people working throughout this facility. We are actually 810,000 square feet of space spread out over 5 buildings and 52 acres. So you can really judge the amount of people by how much parking space we need. We're on production lines 1 and 2 at the Viking Yacht Company. These gentlemen here are making some fiberglass pieces that they're going to use to finish some of the assembling inside the yacht in preparation for it moving down the production line. Right now, it's in a state of what we call a dry fit, where they make sure that all the pieces fit inside so that when the lid drops, it fits just like a shoebox. Once the pieces are mated together, it's bolted through, it's fiberglassed on the inside, and it creates this very solid, rugged joint.
Every Viking yacht undergoes numerous dry fits at this stage in the process, ensuring a precise and watertight fit.
The rough cabinetry is in place. The furniture still needs to be installed. That'll be done in the next phase. But as you go into the boat, you'll see what looks like a skeleton. The staterooms are all partitioned, big units are in place, and you can see it's starting to look like a boat now.
At another build station, the pilot house is being assembled and prepared for integration with the hull.
We are standing outside the enclosed bridge itself, which is a part that will go on top of the boat where the captain will operate the boat from. This console will then be attached to the shoe, and then it'll slide under, and the console will go on top. And that's the fun part, because you get to see it all coming together. This process is somewhat time-consuming because it's imperative that the console fit exactly so that the furniture that's going to be installed afterward also fits exactly.
The enclosure for the pilot house will keep the captain and crew comfortable while they navigate the open water.
The concept behind an enclosed bridge is basically taking the helm station or the operating station and enclosing that area to building it more like, say, a ship environment or a yacht environment. It has all the amenities of being inside. You have air conditioning. Many of them will have televisions and stereo equipment so that there's an atmosphere of being inside and being able to relax while the captain is able to run the boat.
On this side, there's an L-shaped lounge with a table, so it becomes essentially a perfect second salon, only it has a better view.
The team over at Christensen Shipyards is hard at work constructing their latest innovative mega yacht for Ocean Alexander.
I believe that yachting at this level is for a select small group of people, so it's very extreme. The experience is very extreme for their family, for their guests, for their friends, for charter clients. It's just an extreme style of living. There's just not that many people in the world to get to experience this.
And with the hull construction completed, the crew focuses their attention on the fabrication of various handcrafted wood pieces, featuring classic cherry and a rare Burmese cedar, which will be found throughout the ship. But the most substantial woodwork done at Christensen is for the mold of the bridge deck, which spans 120 feet and sits 100 feet above the waterline.
We're about almost to the middle way through this mold. Once we get it finished, then they'll come in and they'll laminate. As soon as that's all done, they'll have a bridge deck out of it.
Eventually, the ship will house fine materials from all over the world, including numerous types of handcrafted stone.
Here we have Botticino and Amarillo Indalo. They're going in the foyers, both the lower deck and the main deck. Botticino is a real classic stone. We've used it in many of our boats. It's from Italy. We also have here Juperana Persa. This stone is from Brazil. This is going on the exterior bar tops. Here we have Cashmere Gold. It's going in the galley. Happens to be from India. This is Prima Cappuccino. This is going in the captain's bathroom. It's another marble. Granites are more durable, more difficult to work with. One stone that's particularly been tricky to work with has been this Amarillo Indalo. That's the bordered material surrounding all the foyers. This stone, not only because it's thin, but it has a very thin fiberglass backer on it. Combined with the veining in it, makes it difficult to simply get from the racks here to the saw, sometimes in one piece. Fairly common amongst marbles, I would say.
And while some marble slabs are cut by hand, certain pieces require machine precision.
Doing work by hand is accurate depending on the craftsman, but not as accurate as a CNC or the computer numerical controlled water jet like we use here. Just because of what we do and our inlays and just our tolerances that we have to make our customers happy, we have to use the high-dollar CNC machines. The piece I'm doing here is going to go onto the wall of one of the powder rooms of the boat just to hold the faucets and the controls for the bathroom faucet. Spray off what that the grain that you see there is actually garnet crushed up that's introduced with a 60,000 PSI water stream is what cuts the stone. Just like this. That's the finished product there. And this will actually sit on the wall just like this with the above the counter sink and water fall into it.
And back over at Viking Yachts, where sport fishing boats are taken to new opulent extremes, speed and styling are not mutually exclusive. With a fuel cell capacity of 3,500 gallons, this 82-foot vessel is more than capable of traveling around the world.
They always look like they're going 40 knots even when they're sitting at the dock.
Since 1964, Viking has made a name for themselves, building the best fishing boats in the industry.
People use it for fishing, for cruising, and enjoying the yachting lifestyle.
Apart from the fiberglass hull, a great deal of the superstructure and additional components are created here at the metal shop.
Right now, we're in the Viking metal shop, which is where we fabricate aluminum and steel for different components that go into the boat.
These we call the hull vents. They're the air intakes. This is the way for any kind of hot air to escape and for cool air to come in and water to stay out. I think the most interesting thing about them is there is a tremendous amount of preparation in the parts. Like if you look at these edges here of these fins, we take a lot of time, we route them out, radius them, and we sand them. If I bring it up like this, you can see that this is actually a position in which it would be in the boat with the tip up. All fins are slanting back against the direction of the ocean or the spray to the boat and the hull.
Powder coating is yet another critical step in protecting these vessels from harsh conditions and erosion.
Powder coating is a process that uses an electrostatic charge to hold the coating to the metal. But before you do that, it has to be thoroughly bathed with a series of chemical baths to purify the metal so the charge will take place.
And speaking of holding an electrical charge, wiring a Viking for power is one of the most involved jobs in the entire build process. And every yacht features a number of redundant systems for safety purposes, including the fire prevention components in the engine room.
If by chance there is a fire in the engine room, the system will go off. It'll sound the bell, shut your engines off, shut your generators off, shut down all the blowers that are down in the engine room, and then let out the firefighting agent.
With over 18 miles of various electrical cables, organization and installation is not only involved, but daunting.
This is one harness, and then after it comes off the rack, it goes on our wire table. Every table represents a specific model boat. Well, this is a section where we do our DC distribution panels. There are two, one for ship service and one for the engines. Everything that you see here is made in-house, except the switches, of course, that we purchase.
The one thing that sometimes gets forgotten is you're building something that's self-sustainable. When you leave the dock, you're taking your power with you.
When we come back, the team at Ocean Alexander and Christensen prepare to add some five-star opulence to their mega yacht's interior.
Everything is pretty much custom, one-off.
And the crew at Viking gets to work installing their state-of-the-art steering mechanisms.
It doesn't get any better.
Then we'll set sail with the talented team of craftsmen at Tartan Yachts.
It's literally an open hull that we build by hand from the hull up.
Welcome back to Extreme Yachts. Life on the water can be a challenge, whether it's a matter of dealing with rogue waves, motion sickness, or inexperience. In the world of high-end, luxurious seafaring, packing a vessel with top-notch amenities and accommodations essentially brings a five-star hotel to the water.
For a 120-foot boat, to have 5 staterooms, you know, with a master on the main deck forward, full beam, and then the 4 cabins below, It's tremendous volume for that size boat. On the back, you have the beach club kind of a concept with the garage and the tender.
The tender will span 16 feet, allowing enough room to house a motorboat or a couple of jet skis. Currently, the boat's hull and superstructure are complete. Next step is to concentrate on the tri-deck's interior components and extensive trim work, including the 50-foot safety railing.
It starts off as a single straight piece of pipe, and as we do all the layouts to the boats, we find out what kind of corners and turns we need to go into. All the welding is done on the boat. We'll take our little stanchions that you see here, and we'll line them up where they need to be on the boat. And then we make sure that they're plumb and square, and then we'll do all the tack welding up there. The welding itself will probably take a full day just for this one little rail here.
And from the metal fabrication to the fine fabrics and upholstery adorning the interior, every step in this process requires hard work and expertise. However, the working conditions in the fabric department are a little more comfortable.
Air conditioning, you know, peace and quiet, it's pretty nice. This boat, primarily we're using a lot of vinyls, leather materials, up in the wheelhouse is basically all leather. Anything goes, because they can climatize the interiors to basically handle just about whatever the client wants to put on the interior of the boat. This is by no means a cookie-cutter boat. I know that definition gets used a lot, but this is not the case. Everything is pretty much custom, one-off.
In addition to cotton and leathers, vinyl is a popular material for a yacht's interior.
What we got here is basically almost finished product for one of the seating areas on board the boat.
And from the cosmetic to the practical, underneath all the lavish accommodations, we find the heart of the yacht, the engine room.
This is the main fuel manifold, where you bring the fuel from outboard, and you put it in your tanks. These are lines going into the forward tanks. So now it's all tested, ready to go. I would say we have about 500 feet of pipes.
For the crew at Christensen, the beauty is in the details. Even the walls are radiused using an innovative bonding technique. And while it looks like a great deal of progress has been made on this aquatic estate, there is still a whole lot left to do.
This is 2 years in to the build. It's taken us that long to get here. This isn't just something that you can put together in a week. It's amazing. You step on here every day, and there's one more cabinet in, one more piece of carpet on, and it's actually starting to look like a boat. I think that's the most extreme thing, is that it does go 4 months in each stage before we can finally get it to here.
And over at Viking, their latest sports fishing cruiser is one step closer to hitting the tournament circuit.
The primary focus of a sport fish or a fishing boat today is what's known as the cockpit area. And that's where all the action takes place. All of the fishing today takes place at the back of the boat.
The back of the boat is directly above what's known as the transom, an area housing many of the vessel's complex steering mechanisms. And to keep this boat one step ahead of the fish, the steering system has to be on the cutting edge of modern technology.
So what we have is here you can see the very top of the rudder post. Connected to the rudder down below, the tiller arm. We found a need to kind of take our steering system up to another level. As we were designing our 82, we wanted to go beyond just hydraulic steering and go into steer-by-wire. We worked with the RG Marine Group and developed the Viper steering system, which has no tie bar, as you see. It has two independently controlled steering cylinders, which are totally programmable and configurable for different positions when you're going straight and different hard-over positions.
And keeping the rough seas at bay is a state-of-the-art gyroscope.
One of the new products that we're using is the Seakeeper. It's a model M21000 gyro stabilizer. Inside this sphere is a flywheel that weighs about 1,800 pounds. It's turning 4,000 RPMs. 21,000 refers to 21,000 Newton meters of torque that can be put into the hull. So what happens is the boat ends up going like this rather than this.
Even the propellers are pushing seafaring innovation to the next level.
This is a propeller for one of our 82-footers. The accuracy of the blades, blade to blade, it doesn't get any better than Class S.
Interceptor strips tailor the props to different models.
It lets us effectively change the pitch of the propeller within a range of approximately 4 inches. So we can fine-tune the propeller and the engine speed to that particular hull.
The cold fit process for the housing of the prop and shaft ensure an airtight seal.
The freezer will lower the out diameter of the struts and to be easier to put it in the struts. That's it. Very hard right now. It won't go any further.
While big engines and high cruising speeds are the hobby of some, Others prefer the propulsion power of Mother Nature, like Tartan Yachts, where new owner Steve Malbasa is continuing the company's tradition of building world-class sailing yachts.
I became overwhelmed by it immediately. It was the most relaxing, most exhilarating thing I've ever done. The whole idea of being able to take a headwind and turning it into something positive is pretty cool, and that's what I felt. It probably sounds deeper than most people would really feel, but it's what got me. It's what grabbed me about the whole process.
And Tartan Yachts extend the vintage sailing experience with their traditional interiors.
You can't go down below on a Tartan for the first time and not say, wow.
The balance of performance and cruising luxury is something that is unique to Tartan Yachts.
It's already been awarded Boat of the Year, both in the cruising class and in the performance class. That's really highly unusual. That's what makes us extreme.
And their inspired dual helm system is a unique feature, increasing maneuverability and comfort.
Part of the reason the 4000 went into the dual helm, performance-wise, you're looking at when the boat's heeling over, it puts you in a better position to have a sight line as to where you're going, planning your next move and everything else. The secondary benefit, if you think about it, when you have a single helm, getting on and getting off the boat, you have to maneuver your way around this large wheel in the center.
I mean, that Tartan 4000, you can walk up the companionway steps and run straight out the back of the boat into the water if you want.
And it helps open up the cockpit for the social hour that tends to happen after the sail.
Tartan's newest 4000 features an innovative and easy-to-use carbon fiber mast and pocket boom to go along with its dual helm configuration. But before any Tartan yacht makes it into the water, it is first designed and prefabricated on the computer.
This program's called Rhinoceros 3D. On the screen here, on the big screen, we're looking at a hull of a new Tartan. And basically, we do all the detail here in the 2D drawing with a couple hundred different layers and then split out whatever our guys need in order to build the project.
And this particular Tartan 4000 is what the team calls a stick build.
One of the beauties of the stick build is it allows much more personalization and customization for our owners. It's literally an open hull that we build by hand from the hull up.
Each hull is made using a mold and vacuum-infused resin process.
These molds are what produces the final part. If there's a problem in the mold, damage to the mold, it's going to show up in the final part. We're looking at the deck for a Tartan 4000. This deck has just been infused yesterday. What you see is the fiberglass laminate. The brown areas you're looking at is the balsa coring in there, which you see there, the brown wood, encased in fiberglass on both the outside and the inside, creating essentially an I-beam with the balsa as the web in the middle.
Right now they're catalyzing the resin. We have 2 drums down there. It's 450 pounds of resin in each drum. And what we have is 2 points that we'll feed our resin to, and 2 more points that we pull a vacuum. We'll pull a complete vacuum under this. There'll be no atmosphere.
Vacuum resin infusion represents the future for yacht building, making a stronger, lighter, and faster boat with less wasted materials.
They enjoy working on new resin systems, new way of doing things to make the boat better, stronger, and different than anything else in the marketplace. So how can you get bored where every day you're taking a step forward and leaving the people you're competing with behind you?
The team at Christensen Shipyards is building a 120-foot Ocean Alexander mega yacht that sleeps 18 and features the type of amenities you'd see in a fine home.
This boat has 2 private compartments, port and starboard, his and her heads, with doors, 2-person shower, access port or starboard, and a jacuzzi tub.
And all marble and granite everywhere, book matched and sequenced stone, nothing but the best.
With the hull and superstructure completed and all the trimmings on the shell being finalized, the crew can finally focus on the details that will convert this massive boat into a floating palace.
The salon area will be in here. This will be all carpeted. We're standing on a marble floor that's already been installed and covered up. The woodwork in this area is going to be a combination of maple, which is the lighter wood over here you see, and dark walnut.
The woodwork brings a touch of old-world elegance to the proceedings.
All of our fits, we don't use molding to cover like gaps and stuff. We fit everything tight, so we do a lot of scribing. Slows you down, but it looks a lot better. Everything's like built in.
The area that we're located in right now is master stateroom. It's a full beam master.
full beam means the entire width of the boat, which also means the stateroom is going to be huge.
Cruise quarters on this boat can accommodate 6, 2 berths in each cabin, and each cabin has its own bath and shower as well.
Adjacent to the wheelhouse, we'll find the comfortably appointed captain's suite.
Captain's cabin is located right after the wheelhouse here, with also his berth in his own bath and shower as well.
Back at Viking, the crew has made great strides in the construction of their latest 82-foot sports fishing cruiser. And with most of the major construction completed, it's down to the details and the horsepower.
Speed is always the challenge. The faster we can make the boats go, the more time these guys are going to spend fishing. Ultimately, it comes down to efficiency. What's the most efficient way to put power into the water and drive the boat?
These are 2,600 horsepower MTU engines. They're smooth, they're quiet, top speed maybe about 37 knots, which is pretty quick for a boat that weighs 75 tons. They're perfect for the 82. As you can see, they fit in like a glove.
And the main salon is getting a few steps closer to ensuring a plush and comfortable ride.
Okay, so here we are in the salon. I just walked through the electric sliding door. All of the systems are controlled through this little touchscreen system here. And it's simply a matter of just pressing a button and those circuits are activated. In the galley, this area here is the counter. This will be covered with granite, as will this counter behind me.
The galley features an array of storage options.
This boat is equipped with a dishwasher. We have a pantry behind the galley, a smaller pantry to the port side. And again, the idea is to be able to carry everything you would need to be self-sufficient for weeks on end when you're at sea.
A Viking yacht's large frameless windows impart a handcrafted feel.
They also have blinds that come down for privacy at night. So you are pretty much in your own little world here, and it's a pretty nice world.
And that same handcrafted feel can be found in the woodwork of the bridge.
An example is the steps that we use for our enclosed bridge. Even though they're varnished, they have a non-slip finish on them to make it safe for moving when you're out on the water. It's a teak interior. As you can see, there's lots of curves, lots of shape to it, and it's pretty to look at. You know, every piece of wood tells a story. The cockpit of the 82 enclosed bridge is a massive area. It's 218 square feet. This particular boat is set up with air conditioning vents that cool the people sitting that are on the mezzanine area here. Areas for stowage, for refrigeration, live well for fishing. All of this area is finished with a durable non-slip finish, although many people decide to go and have custom teak decks put in, which give it a little special custom touch.
And as the team at Viking move closer and closer to their launch date, let's check in with Tartan Yachts as they fabricate their unique carbon mast system.
Right now we're in the final stages of getting a 4,000 mast ready for the oven. The first process is to mold it. We use female molds, and as you can see, the carbon is laid inside and formed to the inside of the mold. We cook under vacuum bag. What that does is it compresses the laminate, makes it a lot stronger, squeezes out excess resin, keeps it to the mold, and gives us the strongest mast we can make. It's carbon fiber mast that makes a Tartan 4000 an extreme yacht. Being as light as it is, that you can pick it up from one end with one guy, it makes the boat a lot faster and it carries a lot more sail area than standard boats of its size. We're the only one that makes carbon mast as a standard. Every boat gets carbon mast and that's it.
The mounting components for the dual helm are also constructed entirely from carbon fiber.
And when these get put on the boat, and this is facing forward, okay, and you're on the port side here, this will be on the floor of the cockpit and this will be on the deck. And the wheel go right here. And you'll steer, and right here you can put instruments and panels and a compass right here. So these are carbon fiber, and they weigh all about 3 or 4 pounds. And they'll have 2 of these in the back of the boat. This is a kind of a trademark of Tartan Yachts. What the pocket boom does is this is what the mainsail rests in and raises from. And the reason we use a pocket boom is because it keeps people off the deck and heaving seas, because you can drop your mainsail with 1 or 2 people, it'll fall right into the pocket boom, and then you zip it up and you're done. Next step is to put them in the autoclave and cook her. This is our molded-in masthead. Every other mast manufacturer, they have bolt-on mastheads that are putting them on with secondary bonds by hand with laminates. Our mastheads are actually cured in the oven with the rest of the mast, and it's all one solid piece of carbon. for her size and even for her weight, she's putting up quite a bit of sail area. She should be, you know, competitive and a fast cruiser.
Coming up, Viking shows you why their 82 is an unrivaled sport fisher.
And it's probably the best in the world.
And the Tartan 4000 hoists its sail for the maiden voyage.
It's got classic lines, but it sails like a Ferrari.
Viking's 82-footer is complete and ready to take on the high seas.
A debutante with brass knuckles. You talk about going out in rough seas. That boat ignores them.
The rear of the Viking 82 is fully outfitted for tournament-style fishing.
Here we are in the cockpit of the 82 enclosed bridge Viking. We have a transom door. This lid opens up. Access into our lazarette area. 2 big fish boxes below deck.
Indeed, there's plenty of storage for the catch and a lounge for relaxing outdoors.
The drink box, so you don't have to go inside to get any of your drinks. Tackle center, drawers, storage, tackle cabinet.
A small hatch leads to the massive engine room.
Not a lot of boats that you have room to walk around all sides of the engines to get to. We're usually climbing over the top of one, round the front of another one. It's phenomenal. You have access to all sides of the engines to work on and maintain.
The wheelhouse provides high tech and comfort for long-distance ocean voyages.
Comfort-wise, you can sit and relax. You're cruising at 30 knots. You can be in rough seas and you really don't even know it's there. The boat handles the seas so well.
Each time we build a boat, each time we do a design, we look at everything we've done in the past and we look for a way to improve it.
The salon on the 82 features 4 distinct entertaining areas, along with some high tech of its own.
This is our main distribution panel. This display and the one up on a bridge do all the controlling. Ladder well going up to the enclosed bridge.
Fine woodwork and materials adorn every inch of the salon, extending even to the speaker covers. And the kitchen is professional grade.
Our Sub-Zeros here. Pull-out drawers for refrigeration. There's 3 units, 2 refrigerators and a freezer.
Down below, the 4 staterooms come standard with teak-lined closets and full bathrooms, each uniquely styled and appointed.
This stateroom's got its own separate head, private head. What we have in each one of the staterooms is a separate air conditioner control.
But the master bedroom is where the 82 really shines.
Here we are in the master stateroom. This is the aftmost stateroom in this boat. It's a full beam master.
Viking positioned 82's master bedroom at the yacht's lowest point, providing the most comfortable ride possible.
His and her stand-up closets, a little desk, lounge area, full entertainment center.
Such luxury in a fishing yacht is one reason why Viking is convinced they are worthy of the title, Extreme.
We're not bashful about it. It is extreme, and it's probably the best in the world. All you have to do is pass someone on your way out fishing, and that person that gets passed wants to know who passed them and how come. And that often is what triggers that person to come to Viking to look at a boat.
But size isn't everything when it comes to seagoing vessels, something the crew at Tartan would like to prove with their just-finished Tartan 4000.
Here we are in front of the Tartan 4000. One of the great things about Tartan is that our people sail. They are sailors first. They've been sailing for a long time. They live the boating lifestyle, and they take their experiences and come back to the shop to build some of the best yachts in the world.
Tartan's dual helm and cockpit features a bevy of navigational tools.
Here we have depth, we have true wind speed, and here we have the angle of the wind. These are electric winches. They're used to pull the sheets in, raise halyards. It's all about luxuries, all about ease of use.
Below deck, luxury meets design.
When you get on something and you see real wood and real craftsmanship, truly molded parts versus laminates and veneers, it's very impressive to see every element being first class.
We've got a fridge here with a top-loading section and also a section down here so you can grab a drink or reach in for your ice cream. And one of the extremely cool things about this galley is that we have a gimbaled stove. And this allows you to boil water or cook food while we're underway. If the boat's heeling over, this stove is always going to stay at a 90-degree angle. We are a dehydrated version of a luxury mega yacht, and every inch of this boat is thought out. An example of that is the engine compartment.
The 2 cabins feature custom mattresses that fully utilize the space. And the bathroom is also an innovative use of square footage. But the sturdy woodwork and state-of-the-art navigational systems are what will make the owner feel secure while out at sea.
We are at one of my favorite places on the boat. We are at the chart table. This is really the nerve center of the boat. This is our 120 control panel. This controls all the 120 from our generator. This basically is a small city. I'm self-contained. It means that I can go anywhere in the world.
And considering the speeds the 4000 is capable of, it'll be a zippy voyage.
It's got classic lines, but it sails like a Ferrari.
They can sail this boat anywhere. They want to race it from Long Island to Bermuda. They can win that race.
When setting out to build their new 120-foot yacht, Ocean Alexander had a few lofty requests for Christensen and designer Evan K. Marshall.
They wanted it to be an eye-catcher. They wanted it to look different than anything else that's out there and to be new.
It seems the team accomplished their goal. Next is the first of many tours as this mega yacht looks for prospective buyers.
So this here can be used as the main guest entry, and you can go straight up to the Sky Lounge or down to the guest cabins or even into the main salon.
Or hang out with the chef in the gourmet galley.
And in here we have the galley. This is a professional grade galley, large enough to accommodate all 10 guests and 7 crew. So it's all professional appliances. There's a wine fridge over here and a full freezer and storage in every little nook and cranny you can find. Beautiful granite. So just like the rest of the boat, everything in the galley has been done top-notch. So now we're entering into the master stateroom. This is a beautiful room. You've got a writing area here, or it opens up in a vanity. And you have gorgeous lighting coming through these huge windows. Big king-size bed, 2 master closets, cedar-lined, and then here a little sitting area. So you can sit here and watch the TV that comes straight up out of the console. And it's got a Blu-ray, DVD player, and each cabin has their own satellite system. Every cabin can watch a different channel.
The master bath's open floor plan is a deft use of square footage.
So here we have the guest foyer. We have a lovely pantry for the guests to use. There's water, fruit, whatever they might need. A refrigerator that's fully stocked. 2 guest staterooms, 2 twin beds in each. Lovely bathrooms. Each bathroom is done with completely different marble. Beautiful glass showers, an open window. The light down here is amazing. That's one of the beauties of this type of boat, is you can get a lot of the light in the guest cabins.
In the back of the boat, the staterooms each have queen beds and their own bath. For a touch of variety, each stateroom has its own unique finishing touches.
And each marble is completely different. Glass showers, full lighting in each cabin, a TV behind mirrored glass. And there's also a makeup room in this cabin. You can open up the vanity and it's fully lit. The windows go all the way down to base level. So when you look outside the window, the water is at the same height that you are. So you could literally walk out and be standing in the water.
And the crew aboard the 120 won't exactly be roughing it.
This is the crew lounge. So we've got a TV, crew monitoring, so you can see the exterior spaces of the boat. There's a laundry in this area. Sleeping for 6, so 2 per cabin with a large bathroom. Big bunks, cedar-lined closets. It's a really comfortable area. So one of the really cool things is there's a pass-through. So the girls can bring in sheets into the crew lounge and do the laundry right here.
And of course, this vessel provides numerous entertainment areas.
So here we have the main salon. This is more for formal entertaining. There's a lot of light in this area. We've got huge picture windows on both sides. It's beautiful. And now we're coming up into the Sky Lounge. This is a really comfortable space. You can sit here and play cards. You can watch as the boat's moving with the big open windows. Here we've got a really comfortable sitting area with nice soft finishes. And there's a TV right here. The art scrolls up. And you can watch a movie right here. And then out onto the bridge deck, we can have dinner. We have a nice barbecue area, so you can have a sort of an outdoors evening picnic. Seating area, lounge, gorgeous jacuzzi. This is a sitting area also for cocktails, just relaxing, and a whole padded deck back here. 4 Chase lounge chairs. This is amazing.
We've seen the pinnacle of modern luxury on an Ocean Alexander, a fisherman's dream vessel at Viking Yachts, and the Tartan 4000, a sailboat that is a total performer in every way. See you next time on Extreme Yachts.